So what is going on, YouTube? Hope you guys are having an outstanding day, evening, night, whatever it may be out there. But Junior with Shooter Option Targets coming at you, and today we're gonna have a little different video. So, how do you make money with a CNC plasma table? That's right, everybody wants to know how you doing it. So lately, I've got a few emails, got a few comments, got a couple phone calls, and everybody wants to know, hey man, struggling out there just a touch, trying to figure out how I'm going to make money this month because things are tight. The economy's kind of down and out a little bit. Things are just going terrible for me. Give me some tips, give me some tricks. What do you do? What do you not do? Well, let's dive into it and see what happens. So, yeah, like I said, it's gonna be a little different video. We don't normally do things like this. I'm not the guy to take advice from by any stretch of the imagination whatsoever. So it's gonna be a little more of a talking video. Probably not gonna be any CNC plasma cutting on this one, just so you guys know ahead of time. But a little cold here in the old state of Kentucky. We're over here in the non-heated side, and this is kind of the wall of the goods. We've got just a little bit of everything going on over here. I mean, this is a lot of design time, a lot of days sitting on the computer just drawing things up, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And one tip I'm going to give you is that old CNC plasma table, it's not a license to print money. It's just a tool. It goes along with everything else you got in the shop. Yeah, so the old table here, I've been putting her through her paces here in the last little bit. It's been, we've upped our game just a touch, and things have been going very, very well. But it's not a license to print money. You can't just jump on this table, cut a bunch of signs out, and say, hey, they're going to sell, we're good to go. You got to have a stream of revenue. What are you going to do with those signs? Where are you going to sell them at? What are you going to do with the parts and pieces you cut on there? As I said, it's a tool. And that tool goes along with every other tool I have in this shop. Welder, all my impacts, cutting torch, my other plasma cutter. It works very well for a fabrication shop, a welding shop, just different streams of avenue. If all you're about is like the artsy-fartsy side of things, I'm all about it too. So don't get mad at me. But if all you're about is doing your art and everything, that's fine. It's a tool to help you progress into the other streams. So don't think you're going to buy a CNC plasma table, jump on it, and just start selling signs. You got to figure everything else out. So we kind of boil into it. How are you going to sell your signs? What are you going to do? You're going to start a, let's say you can go to shooteroptiontargets.com and get all your fine outstanding sign needs. You could do that, and you can start you a website. You could go set up at vendors markets, which, I'll be honest, works very well. But that takes away about every weekend of the month if you're going to go to a vendor setup, because they're normally on Saturdays, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's about every weekend. You can go do that, but then you're going to have setup time. You're going to have, let's see, what else? Your time to get there, your time setting up, your rental, your booth rental. I mean, that's going to be an expense. So you got to count all those expenses in as it goes. Then not only that, you're going to be away while you're setting up for Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday. That's a lot of time away from that table. You could have been here cutting signs. And you're going to say, well, you know, they got Etsy and you could do Etsy. You can. You very much can. And you're going to fight every Etsy seller that's on there too. You're going to be fighting and clawing for every little piece of scrap you can get. I do not sell on Etsy. Maybe we should. We're kind of established enough now. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. And I'm not knocking anybody that does that. I'm not knocking anybody. It's not my forte. It's not my cup of tea. But it may be something we need to do. I haven't tried it yet, so I can't really tell you. So that's what I'm saying. Don't take this as the gospel. It's just what we do. The other part of things is selling signs really gets aggravating. Word of mouth seems to help me more than anything else. This is probably the biggest thing that helps anything. YouTube is fantastic. The YouTube community in itself has been one of the biggest purchasers of shooter option target signs there is. It's just, it happens. And the people locally that see me on YouTube, they come by and they pick up things from time to time, and it works out great. One of the hardest places to sell sign is in my local community. Now let me backtrack just a touch. We don't live in the biggest community. We're a fairly small community, not a tremendously populated place. I'm kind of out in the country a little bit, so my local people don't know about me as much. A lot of it's just word of mouth. I don't do a lot of posting, too much posting on Facebook, things like that. I do a little bit, but I keep it low key. And you're gonna say, well, why don't you do more posting on Facebook and sell more signs and things like that? Well, our local people seem to be the tire kickers of the group. And what do I mean by that? Our local people want to try to get you down on price. They want to pick at things. Hey, the paint's not up to par, or the sign looks a little different than I thought it would, or things like that. When I'm selling on my website, you can see a picture of the sign, and it's going to turn out just like that picture. So the people in California, when they order it, it gets shipped to California, and it looks just like that picture. If they have a problem with it, I tell them, ship it back to me. I'll ship you another one. Not a problem. But I like our website pretty good. I really, I'm trying to butter you guys up. I don't know if you're taking the hint or not, but I really like our YouTube family. You guys have been awesome. A tremendous amount of signs have been shipped that way. And it's all how you're going to get rid of your signs. Like, you can sit in here all day long and cut 50 sheets of metal and sell every sign or every bracket or every AR-500 steel target known to man, through other streams. But when it boils down to it, what works for you? What works for me may not work for you. And that's just the way it is with everything. It's not one niche fits the whole spectrum of everything. So let's dive into it a little bit. So if you're going to do this, if you're going to go purchase a CNC, I advise you, get you a welder, get you some grinders and cutting torch, the whole 9 yards. Integrate this plasma table into your welding business or sign business or your machine shop or whatever it may be. Don't let this be your only tool. This is a great, and I would like to shout out, not a sponsored deal, ShopSabre makes one of the best CNC plasma tables on the market. They make router tables too, but their programming and everything, the in-route system, all that stuff, I've got a couple videos you can check out. They're fantastic. Best customer service ever. Never had a problem with those guys answering a question. They answered a lot of my dumb questions, and it was fantastic. So when we dive into this plasma table, I'm always worried that I overspend or anything else. Those guys really made me feel comfortable with my purchase. They bent over backwards to help the whole 9 yards. Now, I'm not saying other tables don't do that, but in this case, I was fortunate and lucky enough to hook up with ShopSabre right out of the gate. So it was a very easy learning curve for me. Now, with the CNC plasma table, you can use this by itself all alone and make money. It's great. It's fantastic. But that's not my only course of revenue. Just so you guys know, I have a 9-to-5 job every day. I go to work for the man every day. I come home and I work in this garage. Maybe not every evening, but pretty daggone close. And I'm making signs or making deals or researching the signs or products or anything. When you own your own business, and ask anybody out there that owns their own business, when you own your own business, you work 24/7. There is no days off. There is no sick time. There is no time just to, I don't feel like going to work today. No, you got to be doing something. Whether it's researching on your phone or, making some contacts or, upgrading your tools, cleaning your shop, it doesn't matter. There's nobody to do it but you. And if you're not willing to put in the time, ain't nobody else gonna do it. So the other thing is, with the table, I integrate. So I have an old crappy welder. I mean, it's just an old Power Mig Lincoln. I mean, it's not the best one. Bought this joker for $600. Probably one of my best investments ever. That little welder has made me money hand over fist. Now, that was well before I had the plasma table, which is the big reason I integrated the plasma table, was because I had a welding shop, fabrication shop, whatever you want to call it, going on here in the garage. The neighbors down the road bring me tractor parts or whatever. It's nice to be able to jump on my CNC plasma table, cut out some bucket brackets, truck shackles, whatever it may be, that I can integrate into my business. This is not all about signs. I know I post signs on there all the time, or YouTube logo signs, things like that. Don't get trapped in one stream of revenue. Broaden your horizons. Do stuff other people wouldn't want to do. Do things that make you happy, because you'll put the effort and time into it that nobody else will. If somebody else struggles at something, it may be easy for you. Those are the things you need to take advantage of. And those are the things that'll make you money on the plasma table. So a lot of guys have commented, or not a lot of guys, a few guys have commented and called me and talked to me and shot me some emails, and they're struggling to sell their product, and they're struggling to do this, and they're doing this, but it's not working out. Branch out. Do other things. Prime example. Guy down the road called and said, hey, my daggone tractor muffler fell off my tractor. Hey, can you fix that for me? Yes, sir. But that welder over there don't start for under $20. So, is $20 a lot? No. But that's the base minimum. Your minimum may be extremely more. To fire up that table, it may take you 5 or 6 signs at $30, $40, $50, $60 a piece to fire the table up. Well, it only takes me a couple of those. I'm not too picky. It's kind of a hobby for me. So I'm not real picky when it comes to all that. So you guys remember, just take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. I'm trying to answer a few questions, and I'm rambling just a touch, but it's fine. Somebody may get a little something out of this. Somebody may get a whole bunch of something out of this. And some of you guys may not get nothing at all out of it. And that's okay. I understand. Some of these videos, you just never know how they're going to go. But if I can help one guy out there who's got a plasma table sitting in his garage, and he's struggling on how he's going to make payments on it, or whatever it may be, I feel like this video is well worth it. So stick with me. Stick with my rambling. All right, so there's one thing we need to talk about. You need to learn to walk before you run. And what am I saying? Well, it's all fine and dandy to have the money to go out and buy a big fancy table and all the welders and cutting torches and high dollar equipment that you can afford, or the bank will let you have. But how do you make money at that? Well, sometimes it's easy for people and sometimes it's hard. And what I want to say is walk before you run. And why is that? Because I can go over there and buy that program for that table, and I can learn how to draw signs. I can figure out what everything needs to look like. I can do artwork for other people. There are multiple ways to have that program pay for itself. Then that kind of gives you a learning curve, power curve on, and you're ahead of the game before you ever get your table. Learn the basics. Learn the small stuff. And figure it out. Whether that's taking a night school to go run some CNC stuff, maybe taking a welding class to figure out the welder, whatever it may be, there's several avenues of learning and education. Watch all the YouTube videos you can. That's where I started at. I watched every video I could get my hands on and figured out where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, and where everything was going to go. It's never easy. The work you put into it, you will get back. It's frustrating at times. It's satisfying at times. There are a lot of nights I get in here grinding, just sign after sign after sign. And then I'll get on the table and do a memorial sign or a veteran sign or something like that. And That brightens my day. That makes me happier, you know, because I'm helping somebody, or I'm doing something for a veteran, or maybe something for myself, for my wife, that I just like, oh, I got to get this done. Got to get it squared away. So walk before you run. Maybe learn the program. Just get the program. Don't get the whole table. You know, there's a lot of Inkscape and everything else that you can download to figure out these drawings, figure out where your bridges need to be, everything kind of put together, figure out what works for people, what doesn't work. A lot of research has went into this business my whole life. I didn't know it at the time, but it did. And not knowing it kind of it did hurt me. You know, I didn't pay to go to college, but I feel like I paid my dues by learning a lot of stuff. One of them, that CNC plasma table, you know. I did take vocational back in high school and learn how to weld and things, and that was great. But a lot of on-the-job training went a whole lot further than that did. So, guys, start small, work your way up, ease into it. Don't jump in and buy all the tools and all the plasma cutters and all the plasma tables and everything else and have a whole shop full of tools that you've got oodles and oodles of money into, and you don't know how you're going to get your product to the customer. That's the most important part of this business. Know who your customer is, know what your product is, know how much it's going to cost you to get there, then know how to make it. Simple as that. All right, so enough rambling. Let's get down to the what they would call the nut cutting and see what happens. How do we make money with the CNC plasma table? Hustle. It's all about the hustle. Always, constantly working, digging, scraping, pushing your product, everything else. You can sell to the locals, you can sell on Etsy, you can sell on YouTube, you can sell on your website, everything else. But you're always hustling. You're always trying to look for the next bigger, better thing than everybody else has. So you're trying things out. You make onesies and twosies to see if it's going to sell. And then when those fly off the shelf real quick, hey, make a bunch more. You're always trying to get ahead of the next guy. You're not trying to sit on your thumbs and just worry about what's going on. You're not trying to copycat somebody else's stuff. You're not trying to worry about what they're doing. You're worried about your stuff. Hustle. It's all about the hustle. 24/7. You guys, your business is going to be open 24/7 if this is what you're going to do for a living. And it's a grind. It is a tremendous grind every day. You can do the little weld up pieces where I've seen little weld templates where they weld up dice and things like that. That's great. If those sell, hammer down. Get on it. But get it while the iron is hot. You always want to be, maybe not the first one, but as close to the front as you can get. And sometimes you got to be the first one. YouTube brings in a lot of business. Don't let me keep you away from that. Get you a camera. Get your cell phone. Get it squared away. Post your YouTube videos. Do things that everybody else is not doing. Put it on social media. Facebook, Instagram, X. All the things. But YouTube has been the biggest thing for us. Because you guys are number one. Because if you're watching this video right now, you are dedicated and you mean a lot to us. And I hope we mean a lot to you too. So, but yeah. All right. So yeah, when I say you have to think outside the box, I mean it tremendously. Like, all right, let's do a little walk. We're gonna walk. We don't do a lot of this, but so we're coming over here to the other side of the garage. So look, would you build those? No, I didn't think I'd ever build any of those. Sunflowers and corn. You know why that works? Because we have a pumpkin patch right across the road. This fall, those things are going to sell like hotcakes, depending on pricing. Still got to figure that out. Sold 3 or 4 already. And we're in the winter months. So that's tremendously not terrible. Let's see. Let's take one of these right here. All right, so we got our sunflowers, we got our corn. We're doing everything else. We got some flowers. What are these? Just bent up orchards. They're not. It's not tremendous. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to think outside the box. And how do you think outside the box? Well, whether it be with paint or styling or your social media post, however you do it, think outside the box. But you got to hustle. The whole time you're doing it, you're hustling. You're just trying to make something for your area that will sell. That's all it boils down to. It's when you get after it, it's easy. When you hit that stride and figure it out, you're like, oh, why didn't I think about that sooner? You'll see that. Your local ball teams, your local school teams, things like that, they will all make a big difference. People who are not doing stuff specific for your area. And your area may be extremely bigger than mine. Extremely bigger than mine. Mine's about this tall. But do things for your neighbors, your local people. Word of mouth will go. And then you'll get to the point where you can take on jobs or turn away jobs and say, hey, I think that's outside my wheelhouse. I don't feel comfortable doing that right now. Or you can do that by pricing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I price some people out, because that's outside my wheelhouse, and it'll take a lot of technology or ingenuity or researching or anything else involved in it to make that happen in my shop. All right, so we boiled down to the question: how do you make money with a CNC plasma table? There's a whole lot of different directions that could go. But the very first thing I can say, hustle. That's all it takes. A whole lot of hustle. Constantly working. As you guys know, and as I've said before, if you own your own business, you're working 24/7. There are no days off. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Holidays, everything else. Those people who are buying product from you have time off. They're contacting you at the most inappropriate times. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it's always going to be. Now, if you want to make money with a CNC plasma table and you're going to integrate everything else, welders, grinders, everything. If you're going to be a fab shop, great addition to your shop, to your product, to your overall aspect of everything. All right, so I've rambled on long enough. This is probably not going to be a very good video for a lot of you folks, but hopefully you guys understand some of the struggles we go through, some of the time it takes to do this stuff. Hopefully I've answered a whole lot of the questions I've gotten emails and messages and everything for. And I hope this guy helped. This video helped at least one or two people. Because if it just helped one, then it was well worth making it. I don't know if it helped anything because I feel like I rambled the whole gosh darn time I did it. So that's why I hate making these videos. I like it better when the camera's on the torch and not me. It works out better. So, all right, guys, remember, as always, work smarter, not harder. We'll catch you on the next one.